Well, hello everybody. I'm back again. I am kind of doing a follow-up to the video that I posted last, which was doing a dowsing project for an ongoing client of mine, a really wonderful person who has entrusted with me to look at the energy of her land over the course of several years. And something that I found that was really interesting was there was suddenly these galactic portals that opened up on her property. I did look back at some past dowsing results after the video, and I did see that one of the portals was actually a fairy portal or a nature spirit or elemental type of portal. And it has become now a galactic portal. And what I'm finding in future questioning is really, really interesting. Um, and just to also mention that there were two galactic portals on her property, and I found that they were different races of galactic beings representing their soul families, her and her husband. And these opened up recently, like March of this year. So I went, okay, let me do my own property and see what I find. So, believe it or not, I haven't had time to do it until today. It's like a week later. So, I did do our own property here. Just going to share a little bit with you here. So, I did find three large portals. And yes, they're all galactic portals. And there are two positive energy lines as well running through the property. So this is new. I haven't done a reading on my property in quite a while. So this led me to ask a bunch of questions about these portals. So my understanding of past lives is that often families and people in our inner circle in this lifetime have been with us many, many lifetimes. I've experienced that doing kind of past life regression and different visions that have come to me about past lives that are really make a lot of sense to me and explain kind of our connections. So it really kind of was confusing to me that I've got that kind of understanding of past lives and how, these soul family, shall I say. But then I've got these soul family portals that are different races of galactic beings, but we're different. So I asked that question. I went in and asked, can you just confirm that these are different galactic soul families? And I got yes. Um, and I said, is it also true that we've had many lives together, perhaps human and non-human lives together? And I got yes. So that was interesting. So I realized I need to explore this a little more. And I said, okay, so potentially we've been in different races through time, but meaning that we individually have had lifetimes in different cultures, right? Different races. And but we do have one as our like main root. And I got a yes. So that's interesting. I would love to hear anybody who's done any kind of questioning on this to confirm it. But I do feel, my questioning, it's also the words. That's really an important thing we have to remember with dowsing. It's the words we use when we do these questions that gives us the results. And we may ask it a different way and get a different result. But anyhow, I digress. So I asked, so is it typical for most families nowadays to come from different galactic soul families? I got a yes. And I also got a yes when I asked, it's kind of a new emerging experience of races merging and gathering together. This is kind of new and evolutionary. Yes. Okay, so have the other non-human races done a lot of merging in the past? I got yes. But is this the first time that we're gathering all together on this planet? I got a yes. I got, are they, meaning ETs, here physically in physical bodies? Yes. Are those, I, are we those physical bodies? And I got a yes. So am I a human and non-human kind of hybrid? I got yes. And it's really interesting. I was watching the show Resident Alien. I guess I just watched the last season recently. And of course, there is this hybrid. I forget what he was, I think a gray human hybrid. And so that was kind of an interesting result there. And it makes sense, right? If we're from these different galactic soul families and we're here experiencing ourselves as a human on this planet, we have we have DNA, we have that connection to other lifetimes and other races. So I guess that makes sense. Let's see here. So this next bout of questioning is really cool. And I asked, does everyone have these galactic portals on their land now? I asked that question because for the project that I did that I posted last week, it was new as of March 2026 for my client. So when I did my property, one of these galactic portals came through in June of 2025. So it's just a little over a year. And then the other two were activated soon after or created. I'm not sure the right word to use it. Activated, created, whatever. I can ask that as well. But I got no. Most people do not have galactic portals on their land right now. Do these galactic portals arrive or activate when people reach a certain level of consciousness? I got yes. And that makes so much sense to me because when you reach a certain, I guess, level of awareness, there's a willingness and openness to these energies to kind of connect, right? So I asked some people who were drawn to my work to work with me in dowsing in earth energy. Are they at that level of consciousness? I'm not asking everybody, but the majority of people. And I got a yes. So I do have Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness. I kind of created my own pendulum chart that I'm able to use to ask for the level of consciousness. So I asked, can you help me determine that level of consciousness that the majority of my clients have, that I work with in this capacity? I'm not talking about feng shui, talking about earth energy work. And they said yes. So what is that level of consciousness? And I got 310 on the scale of consciousness, which means willingness. And I have the book Power versus Force, which is where this whole scale is discussed. I have to read willingness now. I'm going to go back and read through that. And just the word willingness really, willingness to accept something more. Not that they're believing it, but just willingness to be open. And that just makes a whole lot of sense to me. If I had to pick a level on this chart, I would have picked that. So does doing this work with my clients and pointing out the galactic portals as well as other energy on their property help them? It says yes. Is this work I do with them helping raise their consciousness higher? It says yes. It's not me, of course. I'm not kind of claiming that I can help raise other people's consciousness, but the work, it is the work, it is the the process of doing this work together with a client, helping raise consciousness. So, yes, so I think that is where I'll leave us today. I think it was really insightful for me to understand how this work helps people, because actually I had a conversation with a longtime friend yesterday about this work, and she asked me, is this work helping people? And I said yes. And then I went, hmm, let me confirm that. I mean, I know that in my interactions with every client, when I share this work with them, there's this sudden recognition on a deeper level of something within them. There's a there's a coherence that happens. Sometimes we both have physical chills in our body. In fact, that does happen quite often, not all the time, but there is this realization, there is this opening, there is this willingness to accept that there's this unseen, energetic signatures in the land that are not just our beautiful nature spirits and elemental beings and fairies and gnomes and all that. Though I think gnomes can be quite grumpy too at times. This is cosmic. And we are in this time period right now where we're just receiving a ton of cosmic energy. And I do really love and follow Stefan Burns here on YouTube because he shares so much. He's a geophysicist and he shares so much about what's going on cosmically, both with astrology, which I love, and also the solar and cosmic activity. So, including Three Eye Atlas and what's happening, looking at the planet and how the Earth is responding to all this cosmic activity. And the, I guess the word might be disruptions of what's occurring, but the thing is, the disruptions are just mirroring what's being disrupted in humanity. And we need disruption in order to grow. And really, culturally, societally, politically, everything that's going on with humanity, having us kind of rethink what is reality. It's waking us up. And we need that disruption. We know in our own kind of spiritual growth that we need disruption in order for us to wake up and see things differently. And it takes a while. So if you've gone through that in your life, if you've kind of gone through dark night of the soul or, spiritual initiation, you know that it's not comfortable, it's not easy because it's chaotic and it's disruptive. It helps disrupt the patterns in our life and create that fuzzy energy so that we can shake our consciousness up and say, okay, what's going on? And look at things differently and be open to things like this. And we're doing this on a collective level. And it's quite a challenge, but it is beautiful and it is helping us move to a greater state of coherence. So just wanted to share this with you today. I'd love to hear your comments and just drop a note below. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much. Have a great day.